My son was a very smart kid.
He was already writing since elementary.
I was initially trying to groom Chris to be a jazz artist because he was so talented.
I watched that Biggie Smalls documentary.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, like the parallels between him and Patrice are like ridiculous. Because I was sitting there going like, am I just being an idiot because they're both big black guys? And my wife's going like, no, I was just thinking about Patrice too. It was the same thing. And there's this classic clip of Biggie before he's famous battling some other kid, you know, rapping.
Yeah.
And it was amazing was he was already as great as he was gonna be. Like he just was just great. It was
And
it was an unfamous Biggie Smalls
Yeah.
with this fucking one of the oldest bootleg looking fucking microphones. Look like a hood ornament. And he's just killing this guy.
And the crazy thing about that Biggie battling in Brooklyn thing is that his boy brought him down there saying, dude, my dude Chris is coming here and I'm going to bring Christopher. And he goes, and the first guy crushed.
Let me tell you a little story about the Preem. Preem had ball like Mr. Clean. Preem be fresh like Irish Spring. And round here I'm reigning and reigning king.
And everybody was going nuts. And then he waited for it. And then he went second and did it. But he had that, you know what? He even said it like he didn't have the looks, but he had everything else. He was smarter than everybody. He was more charismatic than everybody. He was more charming. The whole thing, man.
He got the best flow. His swag is like, I ain't gotta be the handsomest. I ain't gotta be the in-shape nigga. I'm gonna kill you with these jokes. I'm gonna kill you with my social skills.
It was more mature too. Like when I watched that whole thing back and forth with him and like Tupac or whatever, it's just like he was the adult in that thing, and he was dealing with like almost like an adolescent energy. Yeah. Like there was really no way to squash it. I just feel like, you know, I'm sort of like, I'm a little biased because I'm a Biggie fan, but I just felt like they were trying to be like, tone it down, where the other side just kept like you just watch interviews.
People just want to see things, you know? You just got people just like that just want to just edge things on. And remember that game Telephone you used to play where you would say something to somebody's ear and you just keep saying it, and by the time it gets back to you, it's a completely different story. Mm-hmm. That's basically how it is.
And it just like, I don't know. it was like, I don't know. That's one of those totally unnecessary things that just took out two amazing. Like I always wonder, like, what the fuck would they be talking about now? The same way I look at like Patrice when I think of those two guys that got that out of fucking control.
But I feel like a guy like Biggie was. I know this is going to sound in some weird way, but I feel like a guy like Biggie wasn't meant to be here in a weird way. When you look at him, I texted my brother after watching that. That was the oldest 24-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
Biggie, when he talked and he walked and the things that he said, it was like a 40-year-old man talking when he was 21.
I watched my wife, I go, he looks like he's 60.
He had wisdom he almost like in like the window that he grew up from having no money to becoming a rich guy, and all of those 4 years of like, or I should say 19 to 24, he like grew in dog years. And he was like almost like,
I think that's also because you don't have a father figure and you have to become the man of the house. So then like his relationship with his mother was really fascinating, where he was his son. He was her son. And at the same time, he was the man of the house.
I don't know what he was out there doing. He told me he was working. I believed him.
So I think that's the stress of that.
Do you hear him sing R&B? It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't know he could sing too.
Hit that note for me we've been hitting all day.
Every time I close my eyes,
What?
I wake up feeling so horny.
Woo!
He was joking and he sings R&B, and I was like, that's like the greatest voice. And they were like, no, he was good with instruments. You could give him an instrument. His uncle in Jamaica was going. He knew he was just another. That guy was just.
I don't buy that. You know, he wasn't meant to be here. I just think that was a really unfortunate set of circumstances. You know, there was a little bit too of like they had some of the DJs from that time going like talking about how out of control it got. And it's like, well, you guys didn't do anything to try and squash it because it was great ratings. So you guys were kind of like piling on that whole
beast thing.
I had nothing to do with that. It just happened to be a coincidence that he was in the studio. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't really say who really had something to do with it at the time. So he just kind of like leaned the blame on me.
The whole thing, man. It was fucking nuts, but I highly recommend checking that out.
1 week later.
But anyways, did you guys see the new B.I.G, Notorious B.I.G, whatever you're supposed to call him? It was Biggie Smalls, and it turned out the first Biggie Smalls was a white guy. Huh? Black people always saying white people are stealing from you. Evidently, huh? It goes the other way.
Because I got some papers in the mail. The original Biggie Smalls said he gonna sue me for everything I got if I use his name again. So please, nobody, if you see me, my name is the Notorious B.I.G. You can call me Big, Notorious Big, whatever. No more Biggie Smalls. That is dead wet.
The first Biggie Smalls was a white guy. You guys stole the name from him. That innocent white guy rapping who took your music. So I watched I was watching that whole thing, man. It was just an amazing documentary. I was talking to Virzi about it on the Anything Better podcast, and just like, that guy had like 50 years of wisdom by the time he was 20.
I ain't trying to do no extra shit. It ain't like I'm like, all right, damn, I got a new album coming out. Let me go shoot 3 niggas so I can make a song about how I shot 3 niggas, you know what I'm saying? I just rap about what I was going through. Now, I can rap about this shiesty-ass business.
Such a brilliant, brilliant mind, man. Such a brilliant mind. And then I thought, like, what he was up against, I thought I don't know anything about hip-hop, but they just come off like idiots. Not idiots. They act like 20-something-year-olds. And how that whole fucking thing escalated.
He said in one of his songs, he knows you sent somebody to shoot him that first time. Is that true or false?
Why? No, it's false. Why would I do that?
If you're gonna act like you a gangster or a G or the king of New York, I'm gonna expect that. And when you don't come through, then I'm gonna want to crush your empire.
I don't know. Fucking waste, man. What a giant fucking waste of talent on both sides with that whole thing. But so many similarities in his story. I just kept thinking about Patrice. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy was the same thing. Patrice was like it was like talking to a 70-year-old man when he was like 24, 25, you know? But he still had that silliness to him, but like could really have a fucking deep conversation. I always wondered like what that was about when you meet people like that. Is it like the brain they were born with plus their experience? I mean, it's got to be that. It's got to be that. Or is it their experience? I don't think it is, because you can meet somebody in the exact same experience, has had the exact same experience, and they're fucking, you know, dumb as a stump, whatever the fucking expression is.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
But, I don't know. Like, I even thought when you saw him with, like, his whole crew, it was like he was like the dad. It wasn't like he was, like, the leader. He just came off like, you know, the older guy, like 20. He seemed like he was 20 years beyond his whole crew of people and helping them stay out of trouble and all of that shit.
He cared about the young ones. Like, all right, I gotta show them the right way. He was really important to him, just to get us off the streets, you know what I'm saying?
Really, really fascinating documentary. And I started to watch another Philip Seymour Hoffman movie, kind of going down that rabbit hole. Something Mahoney. I just started to watch it. And then my wife saw us watching it. And she was just like, oh, I want to watch that with you. And I was like, all right. But we never got around to it.
The microphone murderer, mass mayhem maker. BFG is on the mic, call the Undertaker. Make an appointment and schedule an interview. Because you know what big man's about to do. 50 grand on the technique with the right beat. Brothers want to hear the words big.
What'd you say at the beginning of your rhyme? B.I.G?
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Small.
Through the city, queen with it, add that chick on the beat. You see, she used to keep it hot, but now I'm sizzling streets, run the heat, so sweet. They had my spit on the feet. Poochie shown up with a 6 in them G's. Who with me? Go figure. Got that squad on my side, and then I'm headed back north base, bang out the ride, and the stacks high. So what you know about that? Said he taking it from the top, but then I'm bringing it back. True facts, no slack. I'm on it, getting it done. But I remember where it started in the set, then I'm from north side.